5 days after Smriti Irani was given additional charge as the Minority Affairs Minister, today the appointment drew criticism from several opposition parties. Trinamool Congress MP Jawahar Sarkar called Smriti Irani a hardcore Hindu and said whether she has the credentials to be put in charge of a ministry that deals with minorities. Soon, other parties also pitched in, echoing the TMC MP, alleging that the move shows there is no space for Muslims or their welfare in the Modi government's list of priorities.
The minorities of this country has got its own specific problems, where the people hailing from that communities really have gone through this problem. They'll understand. Abbas Naqvi was there and he was trying to understand things, but I don't understand what type of a game they are playing around. An artist, cinema artist, or a TV artist, or a minister who worked in textile wants to address the issues of minorities. How this is possible? You tell me. We need an expertise in all this thing. Our Honorable Prime Minister always keeps giving importance to the meritorious people who know the issues very well. That's what he keeps talking about. But when the decisions are taken in such a way, the people who don't even know what is minorities issues are, people are not even cannot understand what is linguistic minority, what is religious minorities. They can't understand what exactly the problems minorities are going through. Imagine and see what is the status of education of minorities children today. What she can understand, you let me know.
मुख्तार अब्बास नकवी जी का रेजिग्नेशन से ये बात सिद्ध है, अभी केंद्रीय मंत्रिमंडल में एक भी मुसलमान लोग नहीं है। और ये जो दफ्तर है माइनॉरिटी अफेयर्स का, वो स्मृति ईरानी जी को दिया गया है। इससे ये भी बात सिद्ध है, उनके हाथ में ये जो दफ्तर दिया गया है, तो इससे हम दावे के साथ ये कहते हैं कि उनके द्वारा इस दफ्तर के लिए या इस दफ्तर के जरिए भारत के माइनॉरिटी लोगों के लिए कुछ भी काम नहीं किया जाएगा, क्योंकि उनका एक एंटी माइनॉरिटी एंड एंटी मुस्लिम माइंड पहले से ही है।
The BJP, of course, responded by questioning the logic of making such an allegation, whether credentials are more important or the community that you belong to.
Is Mr. Sarkar of the opinion that Parsis, Jains, Bauds are not minorities? Do tell him. Mazhab nahi sikhata aapas mein bair karna. The opposition's idea that an Indian should be a minority in their own country, what does that tell you? Is not every Indian equal? Is not every Indian having the right to be equally respected? The fact that the opposition proposes inequality itself is shameful. It is our constitutional responsibility to ensure that we serve all, appease none.
जब किसी व्यक्ति के सामने तर्कों की कंगाली हो जाती है तो वो कुतर्कों का मवाली बन जाता है। अब उन कुछ लोगों की दिक्कत यही है, तर्कों की कंगाली उनको कुतर्कों का मवाली बना देती है। और इसमें जो है वो कौन सी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल बाध्यता है कि जो अल्पसंख्यक मंत्रालय है तो अल्पसंख्यक ही मंत्री होगा, महिला मंत्रालय है तो कहेंगे महिला ही मंत्री होनी चाहिए, तो फला मंत्रालय है तो फला ही होना चाहिए। ऐसा होता है क्या?
All right, joining us on the debate, we have R.P. Singh, National Spokesperson of BJP, Karan Verma, author and political analyst, Suranjan Das Gupta, lawyer. My first question is to Ravi Srivastava, political analyst, and it's actually come from the person who is being lamented the most about. मुख्तार अब्बास नकवी को खुद कह रहे हैं कि आप तर्कों से खाली हैं, इसीलिए कुतर्कों के बवाली हैं।
तो पद्मजा, कुतर्कों के बवाली नहीं, कुतर्कों के मवाली है कहा है उन्होंने। चलिए, मैं तो बवाली आपको थोड़ा सा वो दे रही थी, आप मवाली बुलवाना चाहते हैं तो ठीक है, मवाली से ही। नहीं, सही शब्द सुनेंगे, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। कहने का मतलब ये है कि एक मंत्रालय जो माइनॉरिटीज को डील करता है, उसके लिए 20 करोड़ की आबादी में एक आदमी नहीं मिला इनको जिसको उसका मंत्री बना सके। और वैसे भी तो इनको भी मुख्तार अब्बास नकवी को चैरिटी मिनिस्टर बोलते थे, खैराती मंत्री। दान में एक मंत्री बना रखा है और तो कोई है नहीं।
जब वो मंत्री है तो खैरात में है, जब नहीं है तो वो भगत सिंह आप उनको बना रहे हैं। तो उनको रहना चाहिए, नहीं रहना चाहिए? यू शुड बी हैप्पी देन रवि श्रीवास्तव दैट ही सीज टू बी, बिकॉज आपके हिसाब से ही इज अ खैराती मंत्री।
वो तो बीजेपी का प्रेरोगेटिव है, उनके पास आदमी नहीं है रखने के लिए। शाहनवाज एक और मंत्री है.
Although don't you think that this is very insulting of minorities in particular and Naqvi ji in minorities in general and Naqvi ji in particular, that you are sidestepping all his credentials and you are calling him Khairati Mantri?
It was told by the minorities only. They were saying that there is nobody else. There is no other person available. So what to do? 1,500 MLAs across the country, not even one person has been given a ticket. ये कौन सा सबका साथ है? सबका विश्वास?
RP Singh, you could find nobody? Country of 1.3 billion, 14% Muslim population, and you couldn't, and supposedly the largest party in the world, the BJP, can't find one Muslim to be a minority affairs minister.
Well, I hope I heard Mr. Srivastava patiently, and he'll hear me patiently. I request. Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas. The first decision taken by this second-term government was to give the 5 crore minority children स्पेशल प्रिविलेज. उनको वजीफा दिया था आपकी जानकारी के लिए साहब, किसी और ने नहीं दिया था. और ये जिस पार्टी के हमदर्द हैं, उनकी सरकार दिल्ली में है, एक सिख उन्होंने मंत्री नहीं बनाया सरकार में, अगर मैं उनके पैरामीटर से जाऊं. और दूसरी बात, स्मृति ईरानी जी तो पारसी हैं. आपकी नज़र में पारसी मिनॉरिटी नहीं होते, सिर्फ देश में मुसलमान ही मिनॉरिटी हैं. ये कब से नया पैरामीटर हो गया? हम भी मिनॉरिटी में नहीं आती आपकी गिनती के हिसाब से, क्योंकि आपने तो एक सिख भी मंत्री नहीं बनाया. और देश ये दिल्ली के आप टोका नहीं बने, टोका नहीं. एक मिनट रुकिए श्रीवास्तव साहब रुकिएगा एक मिनट, सुनने की क्षमता रखिएगा. दिल्ली के अंदर आपने पहली बार प्रथा तोड़ी है. दिल्ली में पहली बार प्रथा तोड़ी है कि आपने एक भी सिख मंत्री नहीं बनाया. नहीं तो अब तक जितनी बार दिल्ली में मंत्री परिषद बना, सिख हमेशा मंत्री होते थे.
रवि श्रीवास्तव,
इसलिए ये सब बातें मत करिए.
आरपी सिंह, आपने उन्हें
मिनॉरिटी की चिंता करना सरकार का काम है, वो सरकार करेगी. और देश के अंदर सबसे ज्यादा, मैं आपकी जानकारी पूरी कर दूं,
वो तो हिंदू धर्म का पालन कर रही है, वो तो आरतियां कर रही है, सब जगह पूजन कर रही है जाकर के. वो कैसे पारसी हो सकती है भाई?
Okay, fine. She is a practicing Hindu. Actually, it's wrong. She is not a Parsi. She is a practicing Hindu. That being said, is it in the law that a minority affairs minister has to be a minority in general or a Muslim in particular? Ravi Srivastava?
Law is different. When even the constitution is not followed, what the law will do? I'm not going into that.
So if you're going to talk about the constitution and the law, Pinarayi Vijayan in Kerala holds the minority affairs portfolio. Why? He is no minority.
Nothing to do with the law.
This is the question of the spirit. Because you don't want to put somebody, you don't want to give ticket to somebody, you don't want to have a Muslim MLA or a member of parliament. So you do anything.
But in Kerala, the CPM has plenty of elected people who are Muslims, right? Why didn't they make one of them a minority affairs minister? Why is Mr. Pinarayi Vijayan holding the portfolio?
That is Chief Minister's prerogative. You cannot question him.
So Pinarayi Vijayan has prerogative, but BJP it becomes communal. Why can't it be BJP's prerogative?
No, Prime Minister's prerogative. Because he is using there are no ministers for this all. They are all what Ajit Anjan said or Mr. Azad Menon said that they are all bonded laborers. So there is no use for asking that who is what.
Okay.
They
Karan
are
Verma.
like that.
May I make one?
Okay, Karan Verma, then I'll come to you, Mr. Das Gupta. Yes, Karan Verma.
I actually have to congratulate.
Mr. Das Gupta, just a second, one by one, please. Karan Verma.
Just a second, sir.
The fact is that even if the BJP wants, or the Prime Minister wants, he has nobody to give that ministry to.
No, that's completely false. And I'll tell you why this is a great choice. Because if we just talk about merit and if we talk from a governance standpoint, the biggest task ahead for a minority affairs minister is identifying the MCDs, which is the minority concentration districts, and improving the standard of living. And Padmaja, you'd be surprised, the two biggest parameters there are child welfare, female literacy, and female participation amongst the minorities. And it's only an exact and a strategic fit that the current Minister of Child and Women Welfare becomes the Minister of Minority Welfare. It is an exact and a strategic fit. And in fact, it has been recommended by many think tanks in the past that whoever is heading the child and women development should actually be the minority minister, because earlier it used to be social justice. It was carved out from the social justice ministry. So it is an exact fit in that sense. Secondly, let's not confine it to Muslims or Christians just being minorities.
Okay.
Parsis are a far smaller minority, 0.006%. Why don't they talk about it? And the TMC, which has raised this, Padmaja, you'd be surprised at the double standards. Back in 2017, Firhad Hakim was appointed as the head of the Tarakeshwar Temple Board, a Muslim heading a temple board. At that time, they had no problems with that, though it was a purely religious matter. That can happen in this great secular country of ours.
That if Firhad Hakim can be head of Tarakeshwar Temple, why can't Smriti Irani be heading the Minority Affairs Ministry?
Let me be very firm on this one. As I was hearing the others speaking, they said that where the law provides, it's not a question of law, or it's a question of convention, it's a question of custom, that normally minority affairs minister is picked up from the minority community, whether it's a Parsi, whether it's a Sikh, whether it's a Muslim or a Christian doesn't matter, but it should be from a minority community. That is the convention or the custom, nothing to do with the law. And as far as you talked about the Firhad Hakim heading the Tarakeshwar Temple as the chairman or the president, I reiterate that Firhad Hakim is totally a very secular leader of Bengal. Like we had Barkat Ghani Khan Chowdhury, he was equal to the Hindus, the Muslims, the Christians, the Sikhs. Everyone loved him. We wanted a
you have decided that RP Singh is equal to Abdul Ghani Khan Chaudhary. How have you decided, sir?
I say the same.
Because of the fact
that RP Singh should not seek representation, because you will decide who is the secular symbol.
Hypocrisy.
And Smriti Irani cannot be a secular symbol.
Number one, we are known for the antecedents. Kindly check her antecedents. She is known for her Hindu fundamentalism, which is going down.
What?
So someone should be, which is non-controversial
Who are you
figure.
to check her antecedents? Who are you to give certificates? Who are you to give certificates? Who are you to lodge certificates?
Non-controversial figure should come.
No. Who are you to lodge certificate? If I go by your parameter, Mamata Banerjee. I have to rank Mamata Banerjee also.
That is all what I have to say. Going by the
secular fabric
of the Constitution. We have to follow the secular fabric of the Constitution.
As a leader who's appeasing Muslims.
We are not above the Constitution.
Who appease Muslims?
It is a convention.
Who has a problem with Jai Shri Ram? Who has a problem with Durga Puja?
That's all I have to say.
No, that's all you have to say. Just a second. RP Singh will quickly respond. Then I have a specific question to ask of you, Mr. Das Gupta. RP Singh.
Yes. Please.
No, who is he to issue certificates and allot certificates? When by his parameter, Mamata Banerjee is a rabid Muslim, then I have to go. She goes and appease Muslims because she can't accept Jai Shri Ram being spoken in a rally or in a public meeting, or she doesn't allow Durga Visarjan and she allows Muharram. Then I have to go by his parameters. It's not that way.
Answer this, Mr. Das Gupta.
We don't say that.
If according to your credentials argument, somebody who has been rapped, by the way, in the Durga Puja case, the government was rapped by the court of appeasement. They were accused of appeasement by the court. Then how can such a person be chief minister of a state with 70% Hindu population, going by your argument, Mr. Das Gupta?
My argument is very simple, that when the court has wrapped up the Mamata government, not because of the Muslim appeasement or the Hindu appeasement. They said that there could have been a law and order problem.
That is not true. The court specifically used the words appeasement. Karan Verma, want to come in on this?
Kindly go through the judgment.
She was clearly reprimanded for appeasement. And in fact, they went a step ahead and said that minority appeasement cannot continue like this. It's not a good precedent for governance.
Mr. Das
please
Gupta,
get your facts right.
Okay, so Mr. Das Gupta, let me ask you the specific question as promised. Can Mamata Banerjee be Minority Affairs Minister according to your credentials theory?
Yes, why not? Why not? Why not? Because the
so why can she be but Smriti Irani cannot be?
In that way, because she did not appease the Muslims. Come on.
Acha.
She has known for the tolerance level.
Right.
Bengal is known for the tolerance level. That's all.
Right. And on the 2nd of May last year, when we see the naked dance of tolerance on the streets of West Bengal, what kind of ministry should be given to people for that? Because you'd be happy to know that Mamata Banerjee herself had the portfolio for minority affairs after becoming chief minister for a while. She herself held the portfolio. So if your logic is Ravi Srivastav that you need to be a Muslim to be a minority affairs minister, how does Mamata Banerjee and Pinarayi Vijayan fit into that mold?
You are comparing a chief minister with the central minister. I don't know why.
Portfolio to portfolio hai na. You have to handle the ministry, you have to deal with the issue.
Once you use the word sabka saath, where are the people, I am asking? There are no people available whom you want to, whom you can make as a minority affairs minister.
I am asking you on the fundamental principle of who can be minority affairs minister. You started by saying that she is not a Muslim, how can she be a minority affairs minister? My question to you is, neither was Mamata Banerjee, neither is Pinarayi Vijayan, neither, by the way, is the minority affairs minister of Rajasthan. Why do they get to be minority affairs ministers while being Hindus, but Smriti Irani is a problem?
No, my counter question is, then why...
No, question cannot have a counter question. First you answer my point.
Why was he a minority minister? Why
Sir, answer my question. Like you yourself said, that is the prerogative. Now answer my question. Your fundamental problem is that you cannot be a non-minority and hold the portfolio for minority affairs. So according to your logic, how did Mamata Banerjee, Pinarayi Vijayan and Rajasthan minister get their portfolios? How?
There's the chief minister, they have got their established credentials and they can always have it. There is no problem with that.
But what is this credentials ka dukaan that you have opened? You are like, their credentials are okay, but Smriti Irani's credentials are not okay. How do you decide credentials?
Because they practice the true secularism.
Oh, they practice true secularism. And which university have they got the diploma of secularism in?
What are you talking, Padmaja?
I am asking you. You cannot be sitting every day on TV and distributing certificates of true secularism.
No, listen. For parliament construction, you will do a puja. But the parliament should run by a constitution or by a religion alone.
Okay, so now apparently parliament puja is also a problem. Okay. Yes, Karan Verma responds.
But Smriti
Irani didn't even do that puja, but she becomes non-secular because parliament mein puja hui hai. Karan Verma.
You'd be surprised by another example. Mr. Azam Khan was the in charge of Kumbh. Can you imagine? Mr. Azam Khan was the in charge of Kumbh and they never had a problem at that time. They happily accepted that. If Mr. Azam Khan has also got the credentials, courtesy the two panelists sitting here, fine.
Yes, he does, because he practiced true secularism.
So the fact is now they've come down to this logic, select the ones we like, otherwise not the ones you want or the country wants. It's my way or the highway. We are going to distribute certificates. We are going to give you the credentials. No logic, no basis, nothing.
Okay.
That's what they want now.
Okay, RP is saying now the latest argument being raised is that if indeed you wanted this ministry to be agnostic of what religion, what class you come from, then why was Naqvi ji made minister in the first place?
See, there was a person who was available. He was one of the best person available at that time. So he was made the minister of minority affairs. And his term is over. So another person who is the best available person in the cabinet, he has been given a new cabinet rank for the minority ministers. But I'll appreciate, Padmaja, I'll send you a copy of Constitution. Send them that copy of Constitution which and details of which Lord or which God is there in that. They'll understand what is secularism in this country. Actually, secularism is only appeasing Muslims, not taking care of them. As I said, the first decision by this 2019 government taken by this government for the Muslim children. So by giving them scholarship, 5 crore children have been given scholarship. The minority children have been given scholarship. They will not tell you that. But only since they are wearing special color glasses and they have to see through the special spectacles. That's why they have to say this again and again. And for them, appeasing Muslims is the only way of enhancing secularism.
Okay. Final comment, Suranjan Dasgupta.
What I have gathered from all the speakers is that the secular fabric of the constitution has to be upheld at any cost. Whoever is the minority minister, whether it's from a Hindu community or from a Sikh community or a Christian community or from a Muslim community, whoever it is. But the religious tolerance and the impartiality should be there, whether it's a Muslim or a Hindu or a Sikh or a Christian, and that is the essential of
But what makes you think that Smriti Irani is intolerant of minorities?
Because the credentials, if you look back, you know,
right,
that there is a controversial remark on Smriti Irani's performance. So I want to have, if there was a dearth of ministers or MPs in the BJP cabinet, in the central government cabinet, sorry to say, in the central government cabinet, that there was no Sikh person to represent or a Muslim community person to represent or even a Jain or a Parsi to represent, that would be been a different issue. But where there are competent people to man the Ministry of Minority Affairs, why only...
And how do you think they are competent but she isn't? Based on their credentials. Yes, so we come back to the credentials and the familiar certification process, which is embodied by the likes of Mr. Dasgupta and Ravi Srivastav. Anyhow, we leave it at that. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us. Incidentally, there are very vivid examples, current and in the past, that your community or your credentials have nothing to do with the portfolio that you hold. It is only about the kind of work and experience that you bring to that ministry, as it should be. Thanks, gentlemen, for watching. Quick break.